Okay, so my name is Anthony Minnich, and my entire project is basically a story about the trials I had throughout the duration of it. And that's why I titled it The Trials of the Content Business. Next slide, please. So basically, when I was a child, I always wanted to create content. I wanted to do something that would entertain an audience. I wanted to create videos for people that would capture the attention of people around the world. So on the screen is actually a video that I created when I was younger. It was a video of me eating worms. It was very interesting. I only got $5 from it, so I don't know if the benefit was that great, but I have had a past history in trying to create content. Next slide. Continuing that, when I was 14, I got my first computer, and I was able to get software such as recording software to record games, to record other videos, stuff like that. I was also able to download editing software such as Premiere Pro, After Effects, stuff like that. And that really got me set up on this editing journey, and that's where this entire project comes in. I always had a love for editing videos. Originally I started editing on iMovie on my phone or my iPad, and that just wasn't cutting it. So when I got my computer, I was able to transfer all my stuff, and I started editing with Premiere Pro. Next slide, please. So my original plan was to create an editing business where I would get commissions, I would get people to ask me to create content for them, and they would post that content on social media such as TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, stuff like that. The content could have been short form or long form content. Typically long form content is anywhere from 1 minute to 10 minutes, and short form is anywhere from 0 minutes to a full minute. So that's what I would have been working on. And the plan seemed pretty good from my understanding. This is where my mentor comes in. Would Mr. Michael Chris please stand up? So the business part of it, I originally wanted to, after speaking with my mentor, I wanted to get a website created. And I just wanted both parties to benefit. Like I, the producer, I would get subscribers, likes, actually that comes in later. But I would get money from the editing business. They would send me money, while the consumer, they would get content that they would be able to post on their social media. So it was really a give and take relationship. And I got this information from my mentor because he actually had a small business earlier in his life. And so the plan really sounded good, and I really thought that I could create something good out of this for not only myself, but people around the world. But as you'll see in a moment, that wasn't exactly what happened, and my plan completely crumbled in the process. So next slide. The main issue was that the effects for editing cost way too much. For example, BCC costs $200 a month. That's pretty pricey. Another effect, Twixtor, that costs $595 a year. That's also very pricey. And I only wanted to have a budget of about $100 a month. So the project wasn't looking very possible. And I didn't really know what to do. I had to think about this a lot. And it was in a moment where it was either I halt the editing part of the project, or I completely just stopped using effects, and the people that received the content that they paid for would just be not up to the quality par that they want. I would also receive less money for the work that I was doing, and edits can take anywhere from 1 hour to 8 hours plus. So this wasn't looking very sustainable for me, and the people that were asking for the content, I had to tell all of them after the post on social media that I might have to stop this because it was not looking very sustainable. But after all of that, I only got about $270 in turnover revenue, which barely covers the cost of one effect for 1 month. So that was the biggest issue I had with my project thus far. Next slide, please. So after seeing this issue and everything that came from it, I got into an app referral program that I actually saw on social media while I was looking for people to create content for. And this app referral program is on the app called Temu. Many people have probably seen this app on Super Bowl commercials and stuff like that. And to start out with, it's basically where if you get a new user or an existing user, a certain amount of those, then you are granted a certain amount of money that can be withdrawn to PayPal. So starting out with this, I use my family members because they have never heard of this app. They download the app on their phones. My brothers download the app on their iPads, and I was able to get $150 in the first day of downloading this app. So that was pretty enjoyable, and it was still give and take. Well, not give and take, because people who put in my code actually receive discounts on the app, and later on you'll see there is more stuff to be given through this process through social media. And this was only one part of the process. My two options that I had, this app referral program or looking into social media, which will come in later. Next slide. And I want to speak about the app referral program more. There are two programs on Temu. One is called Cash Redeem, and another is called Redeem Cash. Typically during this time period in the summer of 2023, it took around 5 new users and 3 existing users in order to get what is called a cash out. And a cash out is basically where it's a full cycle of whatever that program is, and then you receive that $50 directly to PayPal. So that was very interesting. So it took a few family members to get my first cash outs. And that's what I would consider a method. And a method is basically the way that you are able to gain new app users and existing users. And that also comes into play later on with social media, where methods also get ratios correlated to them. So over time, methods also became harder and harder to create. My first ever method, as I said, were my family members, but later on I had seen this group. They had been changing the way that you would make money through this app referral program, and I joined this group, and through the group I learned that social media would become a key process in this entire thing, and it really changed the way of the project for me, and I still kept editing in the back of my mind. Next slide. So starting out with this social media, actually previous slide please. Starting out with the social media type method with the ratios and stuff, a 1-to-1 ratio, as an example, would be the first number would be a new app user that you would get, while the second would be the amount of accounts that you would have to create on social media such as TikTok. And basically a TikTok account, in my mind, a full TikTok account in my mind is a profile picture, a bio, and 6 videos posted with tags that work for the algorithm and are popular for that niche or category of people that want to watch that video. So I started out with motivational videos back in the summer last year, and basically what I would do, I'm going to use an analogy, like an English paper, how you have to hook in the audience in order to get your point across. I would hook in the audience through use of motivational quotes. It would basically be a slideshow where they could scroll across the slideshow, and then at the very end, I would have my code, and I would describe the process of what they would need to do, how they benefit from it, and how I also benefit from it. So an early look into this would be, as seen on the screen, a motivational quote at the very end, my code, and I would describe how there would be discounts, stuff like that. I would describe how I would also be getting $50 from this, and I would also describe how they, in turn, could get $50 from this process. But there was an issue with creating accounts. Next slide, please. There were a few glitches on TikTok in particular. First glitch was the 2A account verification glitch. This glitch basically made it so you can only create 2 accounts, and then you have to put a verification code in. And the verification code would not send to the emails, so it made the process very difficult. The feature on TikTok that allows creating accounts to be on there at a time was useful whenever it worked, but I had a few workarounds for this glitch. I would either have to wait a day or two. Typically the issue was caused by my Wi-Fi or switching networks pretty quickly. But waiting a day or two usually worked, or deleting the app, re-downloading it. I would still have the glitch, but I would still be able to create new accounts in order to get new users. The second glitch which I was faced with was the 2.6 view glitch. As I stated earlier, each account has 6 videos that are posted every single time, but with this glitch, only 2 of the videos on each account got views, and usually each video on the account would get 600 views, so that would total around 3,600 views, but with only 2 videos getting views, that's cutting a bunch of the views away, and it wasn't really getting me what I needed. And so, of course, I found a workaround for this. You could actually download a VPN because TikTok thought that I was basically a robot because I was making accounts way too fast. So I used a VPN, paid $10 a month, got a workaround around it, but thankfully it only lasted for 2 months and the glitch went away. The third glitch is the account shadow ban glitch, and this was usually caused by TikTok detecting your network, also believing that you're a robot. No, I really wasn't. They would detect your network and place a ban on your account so that none of your videos would get put in the algorithm, none of your videos would be seen by any other people, and even posting the video, it wouldn't show up. So if I were to go on another account, I wouldn't even see the account or the video at all. And that was pretty tough. The only real option for me to work around this was to actually wait a day or two, and the issue was eventually fixed. The final TikTok account creation glitch is the no view glitch, and this was probably the worst glitch out of them all because what good is it if you don't get any views on any of the videos you post? You're just wasting time, and all the effort was gone. So again, TikTok believed that I was a robot. I'm not a robot. I'm standing here right now. So the only workaround from what I could see and from what others told me was to either download a proxy and have that running, which is basically a middleman, gives you multiple VPNs at once, allows you to post on different networks. It's very fun to learn about that type of stuff, but it costs $500 a month, so that's not very good for me. So I tended to stray away from that, and typically what I would do is later on I would delete the app, then power off my phone, re-download the app after powering back on my phone, and the glitch would go away. So that's what I would do to work around that glitch, and everything seemed to work fine, get maximum views, and people were benefiting from the content that I produced and also the code that they put in on the app. Next slide, please. There were also other issues in the process. Let me start with the video that's playing right now. So, Temu has different levels of cash outs that you can get, and the video that is actually playing is the final cash out in the redeem cash category program, $300, and this was my most heartbreaking glitch that I discovered. the verification actually failed because I thought I was being smart. I signed into Temu on my computer while also using it on my phone because I had a very good method to post videos with. But I really wasn't because Temu took away the $300 that I had just earned and only gave me coupons, which I wasn't going to spend. So in total from this account Temu verification failure glitch, I lost around $600. So it wasn't very good from that aspect. And also, another issue that I had along the way outside of TikTok was my PayPal account limitation. When I first started this, I was under the age of 18, and I failed to realize that in the terms of use for PayPal, you need to at least be 18 years old in order to use it. So me getting all this money transferred to PayPal and then transferring it to my bank account wasn't really sliding with them. So they asked me to verify I was actually real. They asked me to put in my social security number. And then after all that, they verified me as a real person, but sadly I was under the age of 18, so they limited my account, and all of the money that was sitting in that account took a few weeks to transfer over to my bank account. That was a process as a whole. The only workaround I had for this issue was to either have an account on PayPal through my parents, and then my card would be used on that to transfer my money to my bank account, or I would get a cash card on Cash App and use that to transfer the money over to my bank account. Next slide, please. So here the grind begins. I started this Pro program in June of 2023. On the left is a picture of all the transfers that I had on a certain day. And all of my knowledge from this point really started to come to fruition. I learned about cash outs, how they worked, how many new users I needed, what methods were, and that just really helped me out in the process. I was able to figure out what the algorithm was on social media. I was able to determine what were the best times for posting. Typically for me, it was Friday nights, and that was the best time for me to post. I would get most audience traction from there, sometimes at 3 a.m. Because people like to be motivated at 3 a.m., especially people from my generation. I don't know why. But that was the best time I could find to post. While my worst time was Sunday nights. I don't know why it was like that, but it was like that. I also learned about how to find tags. I had this app called #Finder. Gave me the best tags during that time period. Say for example, Taylor Swift is trending on social media, and I need to make a video around Taylor Swift. I would get a set amount of tags given to me by the app that's trending right now. People are using the post a bunch, and I would get that and I would use that on the video in order to hit the algorithm, get more onto people's For You page, which is basically TikTok's way of showing people what they want to be shown. So that was very great in understanding. And just overall, tampering with methods was a process as a whole, needing to know what was up to tune for that time period, what was the best video to be shown, what was the best quotes to be shown, what really hooked in the audience, going back to the essay, hooking in the reader to that essay, what really needed to hook in the audience in order for them to see what you're really trying to do at the end and get your point across. And then also during this time period, in about September, people started using their minds a little bit more. They started to use their knowledge of coding to code posting bots, which allowed you to create a TikTok account, but not actually have to be there in person to create it. They used AI to basically create it, which is against the terms of use. So I actually did not purchase a robot to post my accounts, and I stayed manually posting for the duration of this project. Next slide. I want to talk about burnout, because burnout is a real thing. After a few months of doing the app referral program, sitting there in your chair, posting for hours and hours and hours, the only real contact you get is from people you talk to online, but even that isn't enough. Burnout is extremely real, and I had to take breaks during the process. For example, I had 3 major breaks that I took from October to December. Then following that, I took a break from January to February, and then after that from April last month until now. I've been on a hiatus. And I think the issue, the real reason why that came about was because of school, stress getting in the way of stuff. I didn't have the time to focus on creating content. I was not really there to understand what was going on with the trends, and it created more and more burnout, and it just piled up on each other and really took the project down as a whole. If I were to go back and change this, I probably would have stuck through it, even though I had burnout. I would have been able to understand what people liked more during that time period, during that era. I would have been able to make more of a profit from all the methods, all the videos that I produce. And I would really just be able to know what people want as a whole when they receive content. Next slide. So let's talk the average amount of income that I gained each day that I was posting. And these are some pretty big numbers for someone my age, so I needed to learn how to save, how to spend my money in a useful way. So starting out with the average income increase per day, it was usually around $100 to $250 with an hourly wage of $50 an hour. So that's pretty good. Also going and looking at my max income increase on my best days, this was anywhere from $1,400 to $1,700, which is a lot of money in one singular day to be earning. So savings was pretty good on me, and learning that was pretty good. And usually I would get my most amount of money whenever I had a good ratio. Talking about the ratios from earlier, my best days, I usually had a ratio of either 5 to 1 or 6 to 1. 6 new app users per account created on TikTok, and that's what really helped me and led me to make this large amount of income in a single day. Next slide. So I want to talk about the benefits and what I basically learned from all of this. So TikTok has this feature, and most social media apps have this feature, where if you post something, sometimes it doesn't get the views you want right away. Sometimes it takes like a day or a day after that to get the views you want, to get the likes you want, to get the recognition that you want. So I like to call this the TikTok spillover effect. Basically, I would post a certain amount of accounts, a certain amount of videos in a single day. I wouldn't get the views that I wanted in that day, but the next day, it would actually spill over, and I would get new app users on the app referral program and allow me to make money even when I wasn't posting. So that was very nice for me. Also, after that, I was able to take a look into the TikTok creativity program and swing this project full circle with the way that I was originally planning to edit for content creators, but now I'm in the position of a content creator. With TikTok's creativity program, the rules state that you need to be at least 18 years old, have 10,000 real followers and 100,000 real views to enter that program. So I looked into that. I looked into posting videos based on the algorithm that I had learned earlier, which was really useful for me, and finding tags, tag finding, very useful for me. But I also looked into the YouTube Shorts monetization program that my friend had told me about, because me personally, I feel like that program was easier to enter into because I already had 2 YouTube channels. one with 1.5 thousand subscribers and another with 4.3 thousand subscribers. So that program was easy for me because the requirements for the monetization program were having at least 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours long form content watch hours, giving back to the community in that way, or 10 million short form content views on YouTube Shorts. So I took that into perspective and started posting on YouTube, YouTube Shorts, started editing my own content, but this time without the effects, the use of effects, because they cost way too much. And I immediately started seeing the effects come in. In total, from start to finish, I gained around 575,000 views on my 4,300 subscriber account, and then on my lesser account, 1,500 subscribers, I gained a little over 1 million views. So I'm heading that way into entering the monetization program. And in the process, I'm also giving back to my community, giving them content to come to every single day, giving them something to be entertained by, to find pleasure in. And so I'm really going back to what I wanted when I was a younger child, giving back to the community in that way through the content that I produce. Next slide. So I want to just go through the key takeaways that I had from this project. Not everything is going to go to the way that you want it. My original project proposal did not go the way that I wanted it. I originally wanted a business, and that business just did not go the way that I wanted it at all. And I had to find workarounds. Throughout this entire project, I've had so many workarounds, and those workarounds have led me to build a better project than I would have imagined 5 months ago whenever I first had the first issue, and that's a good thing. The second thing I want to point out is that burnout is real. If you ever have burnout, maybe taking a break is the best option for you. Don't overstress it. Don't keep pushing yourself, even if it's the best option for you. Maybe taking a 1-day break or a 2-day break isn't going to hurt you that much. There are going to be unexpected issues along the way. As I said, the PayPal account limitation that I didn't even know existed until it happened to me, and I found a workaround for that. The TikTok account issues, there was always a workaround for that. Issues will come along in the process, but it's always good to find workarounds and find your way around something. You can make something of something if you don't have a workaround, and if you just stop in the process. And so I want to leave this project with the advice that if you really want something and it's not working out, find a way to change it and make it better than it already was.